What's up, everybody? Three and the possible here. We got Will Starnes.
Devion Hicks.
Joe Davis.
All right, let's get it. It is March 28th, Sunday after the trade deadline. We got some trades to dig into. From what I read somewhere on Twitter, this was the busiest trade deadline in terms of players being moved in like 40 years or something. So a lot of stuff happened. We're going to dig right into it. First big one was Bulls trading Nikola Vujacic to the Bulls for Otto Porter Jr. and Wendell Carter Jr. Devion, what'd you think?
Good, because now the Bulls might actually make the playoffs. So I think that's a good look for them. But I still think that they need a point guard. I think, if they would have went and got what's dude's name that they were supposed to go get?
Lonzo?
Yeah, Lonzo. I think if you put like Lonzo in that mix, I think they're good. But I don't know. They could do a push with that team right there. They could still do a push with the playoffs, because who's in like Boston, and I forget who's in like 8. I have no faith in Boston, so I think it was a pretty good. It was a better trade for the Bulls versus Orlando. Orlando needed to blow that team up anyway. So personally, that's what I think.
No, yeah, I mean the Bulls wasn't working with what they had. Orlando wasn't working with what they had, so I mean they might as well just try and shake it up. I don't really know what Orlando. It just doesn't seem like they really got a lot out of that. I think they got 2 firsts, I believe, to go with. Who was it? Oh yeah, Wendell Carter and Otto Porter. Like I just draft picks in the NBA just aren't. They're just not that valuable to me. They're such a crapshoot, and if you don't get in that like top 3, like you're not even really guaranteed a shot at a real game changer. So I don't know. I would have kept Big Vu for that.
Yeah, I don't
All-star.
Yeah, I don't get those first round picks. Like the Boston pretty much shows you that. Were these people probably hoping to get a Draymond Green, which is not ever going to happen. So I think they're just doing it to free up cap space, because if it's another reason why, I think it's stupid. Like you just gave up one, like literally, he's balling this year.
Top 3 center this year.
Yeah,
depending on who you lump into centers,
to get a first round pick. First round.
Wendell Carter hadn't done shit since he got in the league. I didn't like him coming out of Duke. I mean, I don't know.
The only time he did all right is literally when people started getting hurt and had corona.
All right.
I know.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to help him out, man.
I know a lot of people think the Orlando Magic did do a great job in the trade, but if you look at their starting 5, everybody on their starting 5 is 25 and under. So they have potential in a young, talented squad there. So at least they got a little bit of direction. With Vucevic and Aaron Gordon, you're going to be decent, but you're not getting very far in the playoffs. So at least I think they did a restart with young talent. With Chicago, I don't think it makes any sense. You're pretty much getting some skilled big men to go with Lauri Markkanen, but like you said, you still don't have the point guard. And what are you really going to do in the East? It didn't make you a championship competitor team. You added some pieces. Now you got a little bit direction in your future, but you're still going to be an 8 seed, maybe in a play-in game seed. So I don't think it was very much productive for the Chicago to make the trade.
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth with Chicago because I thought Chicago, because I think they need something. They're at the point where they need to start establishing some type of new culture there of just like, all right, like we're not going to try and pick top 3 every year. So like, okay, let's make a move some of these guys. I'm big on like when you get it like, so take the Bulls as an example. Like I don't know, 10 years ago when they had Taj Gibson, Joakim Noah, D Rose, Jimmy Butler, that whole squad, and like the whole fan base and media and all these people were talking about Taj Gibson. He's this great young player, and like to me it was obvious he was never going to turn into anything more than what he was, just a good role player. But they could have flipped him for like a good legit player to take them to like another level, and I feel like that's kind of what they did here. They took, okay, Wendell Carter Jr. for whatever reason still has some buzz with his name, so get rid of him. get someone way better at a ceiling that Wendell Carter Jr. probably never reach, you take your shot. Because now they're really, if you think about it, Levine's averaging close to 30 points a game. He's been above 30 points a game at some points this year. Like, you got some people there. If you add, maybe the next offseason, get that point guard that you're looking for. I think Lonzo's going to be a free agent anyways. So it might have been the smart long play to, like, look, we're probably not going to do it this year either anyways. So let's just try and bring him in the offseason, pair him with all them. Then they got a nice little squad there that, can maybe make some noise in the East. I don't know.
Well, they had to get rid of these people anyways in Orlando because, if they don't move on now.
I mean, it makes sense for Orlando. It's just I don't think it's going to accomplish what they want to accomplish. But
hell no. They're still going to suck. The Bulls are still going to suck.
What are they really
They need like a Kawhi Leonard type pick that like no one really sees coming. Yeah. It sounds like they're trying to just stockpile draft picks and young players and like hope they find that superstar in there that can
come on.
take them the distance. That's what it seems like they're doing.
It's Orlando. It's Orlando. They're never going to be good enough. They're never going to get a superstar to stay there either. They may get a young talent, but he's gone after 4 years. It's Orlando. Ain't shit to do. No one's staying in Orlando.
I mean, Dwight gave him like 8 years. Dwight gave him 8 years.
And who was their second best player?
And they made it to
the finals.
Hey,
yeah, Dwight was a beast.
Stop it. Rashard Lewis slander will not be tolerated on this podcast.
Rashard Lewis was
Jameer Nelson?
And I don't care what nobody say, Turk was a beast.
Turk was a beast.
Jameer Nelson was
nice.
The Ray Ralston like series too.
Hey, he was nice though. They just went.
Orlando has put together some runs. Like I mean, you're right, Joe. Like they do usually lose their superstar, but I mean they've proven that like they can make it work after once they hit on one of those picks. It's just
yeah, but they only have a 1 year window for it to. They got to do something like Brooklyn. Just go all in, get a bunch of picks. Mm-hmm. Hopefully you win in 1 or 2 years. If not, blow it up again because I don't see them winning or anybody staying there for more than a year or two because it is Orlando.
Yeah. All right, what do you think about the other moves the Bulls made? They brought in Daniel Tice from the Celtics and they brought in Troy Brown Jr. from the Wizards, who I always thought actually looked pretty good whenever he actually got some clock with the Wizards, but he just
I agree.
The Wizards just seem to be like so inept at like everything they fucking do. They just didn't put him out there. So I thought that was like an underrated, like good pick. I think they also got Mo Wagner in that trade where they flipped for Tice.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. Like I thought the Bulls I think probably did enough to push them into like at least the play-in games for this year's playoffs, which is a good step for them, I guess.
Yeah. They might slide into the eighth. That's why I think they did enough to maybe slide into the eighth seed. They're not going to be a contender, and they're still.
Remember, like this year, like if you're even like 9th or 10th, like they're doing that playing thing with 7 or 10. Yeah. So, like I think they solidified that they'll be in that mix.
Yeah, for sure. But I think they'll. Sure. I don't know. I have no faith in Boston. So.
I mean, yeah, Boston. It's pretty sad for their fan base that they're probably going to be in that mix as well because they got high expectations. But Joe, what'd you think of those other moves? The more low key.
Are we really gonna have a conversation about Daniel Tice? Hey, come on, man.
It's trade deadline reaction time, Joe. Come on, man.
He's Matthew Dellavedova with 5 more inches on him. That's it.
All right, fine. Fuck you, Joe.
Daniel Tice.
Oh my!
Come on, dog. All right, though. It's all right.
I try to be nice to these people. You are here killing these people. He's out here killing.
All right, Deli Tice. That's what we're gonna call him now. All right, move on. Celtics and Magic also exchanged some pleasantries. Magic got a 2nd round pick and gave up Evan Fournier to Boston. Like to me, that was like potentially the most pointless trade of the entire deadline.
Hell yeah!
Is Evan Fournier going to be the difference maker for Boston?
Hell no!
You said hell yeah?
No. I was saying.
Yeah, I agree.
I was saying
Oh,
No, no.
okay.
I was saying
I was about
hell
to say,
yeah
well,
to
you
the
thought he
those
was about to be a
appointments.
game changer.
No.
I'm about to say you bogus for thinking that was a good trade.
Yeah, like they give up a second round pick, which I get it, like doesn't usually equate to much, even though they're one of the better teams at finding like useful players there. But like, yeah, I was like, I don't know what the Magic did there because like he's like a solid player for them.
That was
I
dumb.
think like close to like 18 points a game. Like if you're gonna give up 18 points a game, get more than a second round pick for him. Like, come on, bro.
And when he gets hot, he gets going. Like you just got, why would you get rid of him? And Boston, I think they just wanted to trade somebody, just say they were part of the thing because
Danny Ainge heard all those people making fun of him about always having the almost
Exactly.
deals. He's like, all right, no, I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, look, clown, like man.
All right, so I take it that we're all under agreement that this was not enough to put the Celtics over the top to help them make a finals run this year.
They're in the 7th seed. They will probably be in 7th or 8th seed with this trade.
So
Who's their big man?
That's how
Who's
I
their
feel.
big man?
Like,
They don't have a big
I like
man.
him, but
hey, Robert Williams been nice, bro. Don't hate on Big Rob there. You know, Bob.
He's cool. Yeah, he's cool, but he's
I like
young.
Williams. I'm not even gonna say
I
nothing
like
bad about him.
Williams
I actually
too.
like him.
But
Yeah.
can't be your only big man.
Yeah.
He's like the only one they got because TT ain't it. Tristan Thompson ain't that. I mean, LeBron should be the GOAT for getting that man $50 million or whatever the hell he got him.
Man.
After his second stint in Cleveland. How he got that man that paid, I will never understand.
I just try not to even think about that because my head's gonna start hurting. I don't get that. That's just ghost. I ain't gonna say ghost status, but
man, the Kardashians take your soul, man.
Kardashian curse.
They take your soul. They do. They ain't been the same ever since.
Leave them young ladies alone, Joe.
Yeah, you acting like he had some big budding career before them.
Hell no, they boosted his career.
Right. At least gave him a little celebrity.
You're right.
All right. All right. So the Nuggets' other big trade, Aaron Gordon goes to the Nuggets for RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, and a first-round pick. The Nuggets also acquired JaVale McGee from the Cavaliers. So what'd you think of the Nuggets' kind of collective moves at the deadline? I thought they had a strong deadline.
You, Joe?
I think they did.
Yeah,
I think they
Joe.
did pretty good. I think it proves that they missed Jeremiah Green a lot because they were trying to find somebody to replace him, someone athletic and mobile to counterpart Jokic, which they need a lot. I think it was impressive that they were able to keep Michael Porter Jr. I mean, I like RJ Hampton a lot, but he's a young talent, but he's not Michael Porter Jr. So I think that was huge to be able to keep him. You put a little more athleticism around Jokic. You got Murray. I know he didn't make that next step that we wanted him to. I do think they need a little more guard help, but to solidify that big man's is pretty nice.
What about you, Devion?
Yeah, I think now with Aaron Gordon and Murray, now they have a second player combined where they can help your boy Jokic. Because Murray, I just didn't have faith in Murray, but I think Aaron Gordon is a nice little pickup, and JaVale McGee's just gonna be, I like JaVale. We talked about him last time, but it'll be like they actually got more. I guess if Murray doesn't show up, like he tends to forget how to play every 3 or 4 games, they actually have somebody else that can pick up the slack, and then JaVale McGee would just he'll be good for the second team running gun. You might put a few people on some highlights. Not gonna lie. So I think they had one of the better trades. Honestly, I think that was a great pick.
No, I thought it was a great trade too because I thought honestly, like one thing they were starting to run into was like they almost had too many good guards.
Mm-hmm.
Like too many guards that like needed minutes. So like kind of getting those guys out, letting the rotation. Because I think an underrated aspect of the NBA is when players know their role, embrace their role, they start to succeed in the role a lot better. And now that they don't have to always be fighting just to try and get minutes, and they can just worry about actually doing what they're supposed to do. I think it's going to help them. And Aaron Gordon, kind of like you were saying, Joe, like he should be able to give them a lot of what Jeremy Grant gave him last year. I don't think he's quite the defender that Grant is, but in terms of just at least having something else out there to kind of handle some big men, he can kind of slide up and down, 3, 4, 5, so he can provide some versatility. And I'm excited to see how Jokic and Aaron Gordon kind of play off each other, because I think there's a lot of potential there if Gordon can show some good IQ of just like good cuts and things like that. Jokic just dime everybody, so that should be fun.
Yeah, I want to see.
You think that Aaron Gordon is similar? You think Aaron Gordon is similar to Paul Millsap a little bit? I mean, I know Paul Millsap's more back to the basket than Aaron Gordon is, but a younger Paul Millsap's kind of similar to go against Jokic.
Like prime Paul Millsap.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's a good compare. Like younger Paul Millsap when he was still more athletic, and like he was one of the first guys to like really kind of excel in that like tweener type position, where it's like, okay, he's kind of an undersized power forward, but he's quicker than most power forwards, but he's not quick enough to be a 3. But he like exploited that like perfectly, and I think Aaron Gordon could learn probably a lot from him.
Yeah, I think this might be the best. It might be the actual best like move for his career for Denver. Now he actually have helped more people pay attention to him. I mean, I think he'll figure out his role better here than he did in Orlando, and be a lot more successful.
And he knows he's not going to be the superstar on this team.
Exactly.
Like he was, they wanted him to be that in Orlando. Here, he just got to be a piece. And we'll see if he accepts that. If he does, then I think it's going to be great for him. If he doesn't, then
I want to see how much this will affect Porter's gameplay. Like, I want to see if they will actually get it, if it will work out, or if they'll probably try to ship Porter out, or, to go get another piece that might fit better. I'm curious to see how that will work.
I want them to actually
feels like they need
run some offense through Porter.
At least give him a little bit more of a shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, the thing with Porter, though, is like Porter's got some of that Kuzma in him. Porter's got some of that Kuzma in him, though. Like, just
come on, bro. Come on.
Not the new Kuzma. Kuzma's starting to do a little better, but Kuzma from like a year or two ago, when he just like he got the ball and that thing was going up. Like it's just like, but I think like part of it's like he's trying to prove himself. And again, they had all those other kind of wings and guards that they would keep throwing out there, So maybe he's got some more security now that they kept him to the deadline. That shows some like belief in. I don't know. Like
when is his contract?
He's got to learn how to play basketball.
When is his contract in?
I think he's got at least another year.
I think they're gonna ship him out. Watch when Aaron Gordon comes in. I think when that match, I think they go get some. You said what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he should have one more year after this one.
Yeah, I think they're gonna.
Oh, so this is last year?
Yeah.
So let me pull Spotrac up here.
Yeah, this should be.
I got all the contract details.
I think it's his last year.
I don't know, because I know he like didn't play at least like 1 year because of the back thing.
Like a year and a half. Yeah, like a year and a half.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what are they gonna do? If this is his last, yeah. What they gonna do? Give him a big contract? Then they gonna get rid of him. They're gonna have to. I think it's gonna come to a point where they gonna either have to choose between him or Aaron Gordon.
So it looks like they've got the ability to make him a qualifying offer that I don't think he can completely get out from. But this is the last year of his like rookie deal at rookie numbers. And then it says, okay, so yeah, he's a restricted free agent after this year. So yeah, you're right, Joe. So they could match any offer if they really wanted to keep him. But that makes it tricky because they shouldn't have. They should have. No team option. But he's. How they try and like get it to where these smaller cities can hold on to their draft picks. So if someone comes in and throws like a 4-year, $60 million deal at him, they say, okay, we like that valuation. They can say, okay, we'll match that, and he has to stay.
Don't see it happening.
It'll be more like
He's gonna
4
be. He's
years,
gonna be. But I
97.
don't. But you gotta remember like teams like Charlotte.
Yeah, it's gonna be something
Probably
dumb.
right.
Yeah,
Because you always got these teams like Charlotte. These like smaller city teams that like never gonna get like the big guy. Like how Charlotte did Batum, how they just did Hayward. Like someone will do that because they have to
yeah.
Aaron
stay relevant.
Gordon.
But
Somebody's gonna give
I
him a
don't
big
know.
contract.
Yeah, he's balling though.
Yeah, they're not gonna match it. Now it's like we got Aaron Gordon. Yeah, so it's I don't see. I think I don't know. I'm curious to see how to do. I think somebody go give him a contract and they gonna let him go. I don't see how they can be able to. I don't see how they'll be able to keep him.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. So, all right, next trade: Sixers trade for George Hill was kind of like I thought a pretty low key but like good trade. George Hill's not like by any means like a huge difference maker, but the Sixers are sitting atop the East. Like obviously they don't need to do a ton of crazy stuff. Would y'all think, Devion? What do you think? Like George Hill, I know we've seen him have his moment.
Now I think it was I think with him and Doc, I think it's a low key like a sleeper trade that a lot of people don't realize like how dope that was with him and Doc Rivers. You go pair him with an actual solid point guard is what they need. Only other person I thought they would have been like a good pick would be like a Rondo or something. Somebody who can actually go and be a floor general with them. Because I personally don't think Ben Simmons should be the point guard. I think he needs to go bang some of those people in the post, or I wish he had a jumper and be free throw line extended.
I don't know, man. I don't agree with that. But Joe, what do you think? What did you think of the trade?
George Hill's cool. I think a lot of people see a lot of potential in George Hill, and he shows that potential off every now and then. But I don't think he's that piece that the 76ers needed. I'm like with Devion. I think they needed a point guard. I would have done everything I could to get Kyle Lowry. You can have Kyle Lowry play the 2 all game if you want to, coming into the fourth quarter, and then move Ben Simmons to the power forward, and now you got a whole different dynamic going on in the fourth quarter. I think that's what they should have did, but because that's the only real thing that's going to help them beat Brooklyn. Forget everybody else. They got to go against Brooklyn, and George Hill doesn't help them beat Brooklyn.
First of all, Ben Simmons ain't stretching shit. Ben Simmons ain't stretch. He ain't stretch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't want to hear you say stretch 4 for Ben. No, that's why I disagree. I think like Ben Simmons, yeah, he can't shoot. We know it, but like I feel like Ben, in terms of just being all the other qualities of a point guard, he's like top tier. Like amazing passer, can get into the lane at will. He's a matchup nightmare because you can't put like a traditional point guard on him to defend him. Like he still requires you to put at least your traditional 3 on him. It's like I don't mind that he runs the point. I'd almost rather him run the point because when you move him off the ball, he's useless unless he can catch a lob. Like he can't do anything.
And that's why his back needs to be to the basket.
But he doesn't have.
That's all he's good.
Okay, but like that, like we see he won't develop a jump shot. You think he's going to develop a post game? Like you're asking him to like do all these things. That, like we want him to do like more when it comes to scoring, but at some point, like they just have to accept who he is and be like, okay, what do you do really well? You distribute the ball really well. You get into the lane. You can finish around the rim. Put a guy like George Hill out there who is, like he can shoot. He'll space the floor for him. He's been there. Like the thing that like everyone's like hung up on like Tyrese Maxey, like, oh, that was a really good find, and I agree. Man. But if you're trying to make a run like this year, like I think they're probably gonna want like a George Hill out there who's not gonna like go OC and start turning the ball over, doing a bunch of stuff that he can't do. Like George Hill knows who he is and is fine with it. That's why I think like low key, good move. I think it helps them. And they didn't have to give up nearly what they're going to have to give up for Lowry. They wanted. It sounded like they wanted Maxey if they were going to trade Lowry to him, and I think it makes sense that they held on to him because I think in a year or two Maxey could be a really good. I think at minimum he's going to be a really good player off the bench, potentially a starter to go with Simmons, Harris, and Embiid.
George Hill is a playoff run, and people will see how valuable he is once everybody gets in the playoffs, and
Yeah, he's a good defender
really
too. Like he can. You're not.
Oh yeah, he can
No team
defend.
is going to go at George Hill.
No.
You know, like he.
No.
You know, so like you throw that in there with Ben Simmons is Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Embiid, when he's healthy, is a great rim protector. Tobias Harris is a pretty good defender. Like that team all of a sudden is like a lot of people who at worst are like 3-and-D types, and at best can also go get their own shots. Like thought it was a really, really solid pickup.
Sixers got a decent amount of two-way players, so yeah, they really do.
Is defense going to win the East?
I really can't stand them, but you know,
yeah.
Shit, they can score.
They can score. Yeah, that's
light your ass up from 3.
And your boy George Hill, he got a flame piece. I don't care what nobody say. He go get hot. Watch.
Shit, in worst case scenario, that 7-3 monster just throw it into him.
Yeah, no, you ain't doing nothing about that. You can't stop it.
Can't do it. And I mean, he had somehow earned respect from the referees since he was a rookie in the league. So every time he throws his fucking hands up, he gets to go to the free throw line. So I mean, there's nothing you can do with him.
Yeah, he on superstar status for real.
All right, what do you guys think about this? This was the one that I thought was the most interesting. Norm Powell for Gary Trent Jr. Because I feel like they're really similar. Like they're really similar type players. So I thought this was an interesting trade. What'd you guys think of that one? Joe, let's start with you.
I like the trade. I think the Trailblazers won the trade. Gary Trent Jr., he can shoot from the 3. He can light it up, but his defense isn't there. And Norman Powell's a pretty good shooter, but he's a lockdown defender. And I think that's exactly what Portland needs. Because let's be real, CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard aren't the greatest defenders out there. They'll light it up on you, but you need somebody who's going to be out there and lock it down, and Norman Powell can do that.
Dev?
I think low-key this probably was the best trade for Portland because that 1-2 that they have, like that backcourt that they had was never going to work. Like, I don't see anybody, obviously outside of like Steph and all them, that's rare. Like a 1-2 punch is going to win you a championship. At least you got somebody here now. He might drop 30 on you and he's going to lock you up too. So I think, and then once everybody comes back from injuries, what's my boy, the center? What's his name?
Nurkic.
Yeah, Nurkic. God, I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, Nurkic. When he comes back in, yeah, I think it's going to flow well. I don't know. I think that's like, because they didn't need another guard. They needed somebody who could be in like 3, 4, 5 position. So I think, yeah, playoff time come. They might upset a team or two that people thought to go lose against, and then they gonna come out there and light it up. So I think that might have been the best pickup.
I thought it was. I don't see it as that much of an improvement for Portland. I don't know that I think Gary Trent Jr. was such a liability on defense. I think they're very I think they got a little. I think Norman Powell is probably like the best version of Gary Trent Jr. Like that's who like Gary Trent Jr. can like aspire to be.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he's like that far off. I don't think it was like this big game changer. The only thing that I like about it is that Norman Powell's a little bigger, and so I think it'll give him some lineup flexibility. They can do some fun things with like Melo, sliding Melo between the 3 and the 4. I think it'll give him some flexibility there. But like I don't know. I saw a lot of people talking about how great of a trade this was, and I don't know. I didn't think it was that impactful.
It's like what they try to do, when people. I think it'll just be like a better version of Melo, of like what people thought Melo would be for the Blazers. Norman Powell is going to be exactly what they wanted him to be, with plus defense.
Like Devion said earlier, it's going to help Portland beat the Suns in the playoffs.
Know.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good team. That's a good matchup piece right there. That definitely will help them. So Devion and Joe, as y'all are resident Laker fans here, the Clippers.
Come on, bro.
Flippers.
You said it right.
Brought in Rondo. Rondo for Lou. Lemon Pepper Lou going back to Magic City. What'd y'all think of that one? That make y'all a little worried about the Clippers? Or are they still the Flippers?
No. I think they're still the Flippers, but I honestly, Lou Williams was not like this year. He wasn't like, to me, Lou Williams that we wanted. Like, I think he was
he was iffy this year.
Yeah, I think
iffy.
It seems like he's on the decline, like he's falling off. But Rondo, you come in there, you obviously don't need somebody who's going to really score that much. You saw what Lou Williams ain't really helping. So now you got a floor general in there who can work with anybody, and he's going to get in your head on defense. He's going to be dirty. I think it's like a match made in heaven, and he's used to the big light. So that little meltdown that the Flippers had in the playoffs, I cannot see that happening with Rondo on the team. Can't see it happening.
You don't think?
Now that'll lead to an altercation in the locker room.
Yeah, it's going to be some.
It's going to be a fight.
Rondo
going to be a fight.
Rondo beating somebody's ass if they do that.
My boy Rajon is not going for that, boy. I'm sorry, he's not going for that. He's a champion.
And that's the reason I'm concerned about it. I mean,
they needed
a point guard. They needed a point guard, but Rondo, he wears people thin. And I don't know how Paul George can handle that. I don't know if Kawhi can even handle that because they're not used to somebody getting in their face and telling them that they're wrong. But it's definitely something they needed. They definitely needed Rondo a lot. But, I mean, is Rondo going to be playoff Rondo again? He is getting up there in age. How much of an impact is he really going to have? But I do also like that he's back with Ty Lue. Ty Lue was the assistant coach.
The thing that makes Rondo so good in the playoffs.
So I think that's dope.
I think the thing that makes Rondo really good in the playoffs is just purely because of how the game changes. Like the game slows down, slower paced. So you need somebody that can get you organized, which was the Clippers' like biggest issue last year and still seems to be their issue this year. And Rondo definitely will keep them organized. So I like it from that point. I think it definitely gives them a leg up. But I mean, something just seems like even more off with like Paul George and Kawhi this year. I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if like something happened in the bubble that like really caused some like permanent tension there, but like something seems so wrong with their dynamic this year.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is they got like a nice young player. Like Terrence Mann, I think is in his first or second year. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying something seems off with them. That's all. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
That's why Rondo is going to be important because I think he'll be where he'll like even if they get mad at Rondo, he's still a champion and you'll respect what he's saying. And then it's probably going to be more so for Paul George because Paul George needs a little wake up call. Like, do you want to win or do you want to lose? Because the rest of them, they don't have to win another ring a day in their life. People still know who they are. Paul George needs this like badly. So. I don't know. But I'm biased too. I love Rondo. So, he the only such player I've ever gonna like. So, and Jason Tatum, he don't count. But
Tatum's a little separate. That's a little different.
They should have, on a side note, sorry, Boston should have, they might have been better off if they traded him.
Low key, they should have tried to get him back there, but who knows if that relationship's like permanently dead.
Yeah.
All right. You know the trade I want to talk about. Trade one, Mo Harkless and Chris Silva for Valencia from the Kings, and then the big one, Kelly O. See you, bud. Kelly O and Avery Bradley for Victor Oladipo, bringing Oladipo and Valencia to the Heat. Heat Nation got a version of a big three again. What y'all think?
A version? What do you mean a version? Y'all got it, bro. Oladipo is
first of all.
Who?
No, because when you think big three in the Heat, you're thinking LeBron James, Wade County, and Chris Bosh.
Let that go.
No, I'm just saying it's a version of the big three because there's levels to this. We've had other big threes, Devion. All right, so
y'all got one again. Y'all got one now. Oladipo, like with that system, he really can heal properly. He's gonna go out there. He actually has a team who's going to compete. They play both sides of the floor, and look at the run y'all made last year. Now you just put Oladipo in that, bro. That's
Oh,
bro,
I'm excited about it. I'm happy.
I'm telling you,
I'm so happy we dodged the 35-year-old dude and went for the guy that's 27 and wanted to be in Miami. And all we had to do was give up Kelly O and AB.
Exactly. What did y'all give up to get Oladipo? Nothing.
He wants to sign an extension, so I'm ecstatic about it. I love it. Joe, what'd you think?
Brooklyn was here. Miami was right here. Miami.
Man, nah, dog. No. Oladipo, they got Oladipo for cheap for a reason. He's hurt. His after that injury, he's not the same dude. I know he fits the Miami mentality and that system and everything, but last time we saw him playing, he was the one-on-one. He was the man. He wasn't about the team. He was, I'm going to get buckets. I know it's not going to be the same like that in Miami, so we're going to have to see how he adjusts. I do trust Miami staff to get him healthy, though. So that could be. It could be.
That's fine.
It's all about his health.
Third option.
It's all about the health.
Oladipo is the third option.
That's my point.
He doesn't have to be the man here. Jimmy Butler's the fucking man.
That's my point, though.
All right, you got three people that are lockdown defenders and great offensive players. What are you talking about? Who cares? I don't need him to come in and average 25. If he comes in and averages 18 to 20, I'm good. Defense
is not winning the East this year.
Real talk.
Defense ain't winning the East this year. You got to score.
Bro, you need somebody to go DeVar.
I don't care how much defense you play.
James Harden and Kyrie.
The Nets scoring 124 points a night. You guys stop
this man can't score. The last 6 or 7 games he played in Houston, he was averaging 27 points a game. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what was y'all honestly?
He was hooping
last year. I think y'all saw the problem. I think y'all might have had last year. If you had one more score last year, even playing against the Lakers, that was a big problem. Now he can heal, bro. Like, he can actually go out there and heal, come back. You don't even got to play him right now if you don't want to. And they still going to be fine. They still going to win. I don't see nobody stopping them. Playoff time comes, him and Jimmy are going to be.
I just need the Heat to get healthy. That's all I need them to do. Because they can't throw they can never have the whole team out there. That's the only thing that's setting us back. We lost 6 in a row because we have a smorgasbord of people that Jimmy misses game, Dragic missing games, Hero missed a game. Now Nunn's hurt. Can't get help. That's the only thing. If they get healthy, it's over.
It's a wrap.
Devion was right there. They definitely needed a bucket
getter. It's a 3 or 4 team race.
Yeah. They needed a bucket getter. Oladipo is definitely
because once Dragic got hurt. So now I think about it, you come to the playoffs, assuming everyone's healthy. You got Jimmy can go get a bucket, Bam can get a bucket, Oladipo can get a bucket, and you're not going to sleep on the Dragon. I'm not going to let you disrespect Goran Dragic like that. He might not be the same Dragic that he used to be, but he can still go get you a bucket.
Dragic is still nice.
Hero can get you a bucket.
That's another person your boy Dragic can throw the ball to and can count on him hitting the shot. Because one-on-one Oladipo is saucing anybody. You're not leaving him open. You got to guard him. And on the other end, he go play some defense too. And he went from they got 13 wins in Houston to now he's in the playoff contentions. People sleeping on him. Pat Riley go put that in his ear. He got a great great opportunity just to shine, bro. I don't know, bro. Like,
health.
It's really. Health. I thought it was between Miami and he got. What other place could he rest? Literally rest. And
it hasn't been a secret. He's been pretty much doing everything but publicly saying since last year, I want to go to Miami. So it was just a matter of time. At least Houston got something for him. Granted, they didn't really get much, but
Miami just saved that man's career. I don't care what nobody says. Oladipo is going to be back now. Watch and see what I say. Now people are going to start saying more and more.
All right, hang on, Doug. I know we got time constraints for you because you got to go sell some houses or something. But okay, we got 2 more things I want to talk about. Toronto decides not to trade Lowry. Smart or no?
Brick man.
Little $1 bill.
It's a million. That's right. It's $1 million in my head. They should have traded Lowry. He's 35. They should have traded him because now you just got rid of, which makes no sense to me. You got rid of Norman Powell, but yeah, you kept a 35-year-old.
Didn't want to pay Powell in the offseason.
But I would have rather paid him versus Lowry's 3,000 years old, bro. Like it's
Yeah, but I mean, it's like one of those like to Toronto, like Kyle Lowry's probably like the closest thing they'll ever have to like a lifer.
Yeah. Maybe they think in his head, maybe he's like Chris Paul, where if we keep him, he can keep us into the playoff contention, and he's not Chris Paul. He's not going to be able to do a Chris Paul. He's one injury away from being old news. So they should have shipped him out. Should have just put some play. Well, I don't know. Siakam ain't that man. So, honestly, I thought Siakam was that guy. I don't know if I have faith in, trading Lowry.
Well, I would have not admitted that, Devin. I would not have admitted that you thought Siakam was that guy. Spicy P. Joe, what you think? Smart or dumb?
Hey, I thought it was dumb. I think they should have traded him. He's 35 and everybody won him. I would have done if I was Toronto. I would have called the Lakers. I would have said, give me Kyle Kuzma and Dennis Schroeder, and I'll give you Kyle Lowry and Norman Powell for a first-round pick. So then now I have Dennis Schroeder who can pick and roll with Spicy P, and then if that don't work, he can kick it out to Kyle Kuzma. I think, and then you got at least something to build on. You got nothing there. You get rid of Norman Powell, and what you really get back?
I don't think the Lakers were doing that, though. I don't think the Lakers were doing that.
We weren't doing that, bro. You know that.
I don't think they were going to give up Kuzma, and it sounded like they were going to give up Schroeder.
They should have. They didn't want to give up Tucker.
It sounds like they were willing to offer Schroeder. They wanted, the THT. They wanted him. That was like the sticking point with them. Then when they were talking to the Heat, they wanted Hero, and fuck no, that's not.
I'm not giving up Hero. You crazy?
You're not going to get a 21-year-old guy that just dropped like 30 plus in the playoffs. That's crazy. And then I think they wanted Maxey from the Sixers. And it's just like no one's going to do that for a guy on an expiring contract.
Yeah, that's
35.
Makes no sense. Not when Brooklyn's as loaded as they are.
Yeah, and I don't think the Lakers, Kyle Kuzma is like on God mode for the Lakers for whatever reason. And what is it? Chris Paul's in his last year of his contract. I'd rather go take my chance of going trying to get Chris Paul in the offseason versus trading for Lowry.
Yeah, it just didn't really make a lot of sense. What they were asking for made no sense. All right, real quick, I know you got to get out of here, Devion. Who won the trade deadline? If there's a team that you said, okay, they got the most, they improved their chances the most, or you want to go the other way, like who reset themselves the most to put themselves in good position for the future? I don't care. Joe, I'm going to start with you. Who won? You have to declare a winner.
If I had to declare a winner, I'm taking the Nuggets.
For consideration, because it wasn't a trade. We didn't talk about it. Drummond signed with the Lakers in LA going to Brooklyn. We didn't get to talk about it. We're running out of time, but can consider them if you want.
I was going to say the Lakers because of that, but I'm actually going to take
Sticking with the Nuggets?
I'm taking the Nuggets because you got an MVP caliber center, Jokic out there. He's putting up stats no one has put up since Kevin McHale, and you're not winning games. So you went out there and you made some pieces and said, hey, we're going for it. We got to do something. And they did something. Now we just got to see if it worked.
I like it. Devion?
Yeah, dang. He might make me switch mine to the Nuggets. I wanted to do – I think the Blazers, in my opinion, because Dame is Dame. He's getting this far on his own, hitting big-time shots, and then now you put one missing piece to him. Now he's literally one player away from going to the next step, and I think that they did it. I don't know. Nuggets are a close second. I want to go with the Blazers.
All right.
I go with the Blazers.
If y'all just want to ignore the obvious answer is Heat. The Heat won the trade deadline. To me, they got the best player. Well, second best player. I think Vooch was probably the best overall player, but Oladipo, in terms of just fit and everything, the Heat won the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Valencia, which I didn't even know until a few days ago, actually had a small stint with Jimmy when Jimmy was in Minnesota. They played together, and they apparently were a good pair in terms of net rating and stuff like that, which I don't put a ton of stock into, but it has some value.
That was his favorite player.
So I think that was a low-key a good move. Low key though. Oh my god.
Oh, this was so funny.
But yeah, man, I'm going with the Heat. Depot, that's a great third option. Heat get healthy, they're a problem. Real quick, Joe, I haven't even run this by you yet, but Debbie and I were talking offline about potentially, once we get a little follower base up, doing a little FanDuel group for free. Maybe throw some prizes out there eventually. Free entry. Just have a little friendly competition amongst the listeners and ourselves. What do you think?
I'm down for sure. Just don't get mad at me if you lose money because of my picks.
All right, stop it. Stop. First of all, I'm going to dominate it no matter what. Doesn't matter. Devion probably coming last like every time, but it's all good.
Nah, I'm in first or last. There's no in between with me for real. I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm either gonna hit big or it's over with for me.
He said, "No risk it, no biscuit." All right, y'all. Solid episode today. 3 and a possible. Signing off. See y'all next time.
All right, peace.